Hello and welcome to the Growing Green Landscapes Podcast with Jeremiah Jennings. While still in his early 20s, Jeremiah already runs a successful six-figure lawn maintenance company. Listen in as he and his guests share the things that have brought them success that can help you in your business. As a young entrepreneur in the green industry, Jeremiah emphasizes the tips and tricks involved in running a lawn maintenance business while discussing the principles applying to all small businesses. If you're wanting to grow, become profitable and professional, you're in the right place. And now, here's your host, Jeremiah Jennings.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Growing Green Landscapes Podcast. This is your host, Jeremiah Jennings. Thank you all so much for tuning in to our episode today. I am so excited for what we have on the line. We have Mike Gunn with Get It Done with Gunn. He is a great guest that's going to be on the show today. I hope you all stay tuned to the whole episode because it is packed with value. I know there's going to be some really good things that you're going to get out of this from somebody who's been in it been in the landscaping business for about 11 years now. Mike can give a lot of advice on some things that he's done wrong and some things he's learned over the past 10 years and things you can implement in your business. So stay tuned to the show. It's going to be a really fun one. Go ahead and forgive my voice now if you would. If it's a little raspy, just kind of try to tune it out, or I don't know, whatever you can. I'm sorry for it, but had a basketball game last night and recording this early morning, so it was just I'm still kind of getting over the yelling and the hollering, and especially when it's close games like last night, we won by 1 point. So all the way down to the end, I was in check and yelling and staying in touch with the game. So riding the refs a little too hard, but I love it. I enjoy doing it, but podcasts must go on. So stay tuned. I hope you enjoy the episode, and let's go ahead and kick it over to the show sponsors. Hear a word from them today, and then we'll just hop right on in with Mike Gunn.
Oh, God. I'm going to have to shovel. I don't even have a snowblower. Nobody to plow me. Oh, my God, and the neighbors suck. They don't help. Oh, my God, what am I going to do?
Do you want to keep the cash flowing this winter? Head over to entrepreneuracademy.com and check out all of Brian Fullerton's new courses and powerful resources to get you cashing in on that white gold through plowing snow. The snow plowing training course is easy to understand, and you'll learn what it takes to do the job effectively and how to bid, price, and estimate snow plowing for both residential and commercial properties. LawEntrepreneurAcademy.com has 3 new resources to take the hassle and guesswork out of securing your snow removal jobs, plus there's eye-catching marketing materials that can help you secure new clients quickly. Ready to crush the snow game this year? Visit LawEntrepreneurAcademy.com or use the link in the podcast description.
Well, guys, thanks for tuning into the show today. We have a great guest coming on the show. As you know, I love guest interviews, and I just I get the most value out of them. I hope you get the most value out of them as well. And we have none other than Mike Gunn with Get It Done with Gunn. Is it landscaping? Get It Done with Gunn Landscape? Or just a podcast, right? That's just the name of the podcast.
Yeah, Get It Done with Gunn is my YouTube handle and Instagram. And then my actual business name's Gunn Landscaping.
Okay. Man, you should just take Get It Done with Gunn all the way across the board. I mean, that's you talk about a catchy name.
That's what I've been told, man.
Really? Have other people said that?
Yeah, I mean, it was always my slogan, Get It Done with Gunn Landscaping, and I have it underneath my logo. And what I was trying to do with Get It Done with Gunn on the social media was just keep my business separate from it.
Yeah.
Because I'm showing a lot of behind the scenes stuff that isn't necessarily for my customers, to see. So it's more industry related. So I was just trying to keep that separate, and it's morphed and changed over the years, and I don't know. It's all just a hobby,
Yeah, just doing it. Hey, I love the grind too. It's just fun. It's just a good little extra side hustle type thing. And I mean, bringing out content to you guys out there listening. And Mike has a great podcast as well. We'll dive into that a little bit later, but Mike, I just wanted to kind of kick it today for a little bit, maybe 30, 35 minutes, and just talk about your story, your journey through entrepreneurship. That's a big thing that we're trying to hit on, especially as we go through the winter here. Maybe there's some guys out there who are thinking about going full time in the spring, and they need some tips on entrepreneurship and maybe getting into the green industry specific, and just some steps they need to take. And I just want them to be well versed in whatever way they can be, and if our show can help them at all with whatever guests we have on, whatever stuff we just bring out and put content out to y'all, I hope we can help you in some way, shape, or form. So Mike, just let us know, I mean, kind of inform everybody, if they don't know who you are, kind of who you are and how you got started doing in your landscaping business, and then kind of how you've evolved into today.
Yeah. Mike Gunn. I'm in just north of Indianapolis. My service area is Noblesville, Indiana. Got started over 11 years ago now in the landscaping industry. I guess I've been in the industry for 15 or something, but in business for myself for over 11 years. And let's see, Gunn Landscaping. I do full service property management and landscaping installations. That's kind of varied over the years. We've done more mowing in the past, and then we went full landscape installs. And now I'm kind of back to full service property management, where we do everything outside your home. So yeah, it's funny how things change throughout the years, and goals and directions for the business. And that's a big part of my story, and made a lot of mistakes, stumbled over a lot of hurdles. But I mean, that's where I'm coming from. Also, I've got the social media stuff, Get It Done with Gunn on Instagram and YouTube. And I kind of post there as I can, I've got 3 kids in with my wife, my beautiful wife, Heather, and a lot of family stuff going on there. A lot of time consumed there as well.
Busy schedule.
Podcast as well. Yeah. So I've got the podcast as well, Lawn Care Community, and I always bite off more than I can chew with that schedule as well. So yeah, I mean, I that's me in a nutshell, because I get into everything. Like I am what's the saying? Jack of all trades, master of none.
Yeah.
Because I can't stay focused on one thing. So, it's a, what do you call it? It's a, not a problem, but a good problem, whatever.
Yeah. I understand what you're saying. Definitely. It sounds like you're handling a lot of baskets. You got a lot of stuff going on. And man, I can imagine that schedule. I know my schedule with no kids, and I'm covered up. So I can imagine having that many kids and podcasts and everything else. So
there's no boredom here.
No time off. No time off. It's always so funny lining up interviews with people to do the show, and it's like, it's so hard finding people, like, aligning schedules, because it's like most people, it's like you. I mean, you allot your days and you schedule well, and you only have like an hour to 2 hours a day to like allot for these things, and
right.
That's what successful people do. And that's a big thing that I'm learning and trying to do as well, is having a schedule and sticking to that schedule and having a routine. And I don't know, I feel like it can help you in your business as well. If you have set things that you do every day, you do them at the same time, and maybe not, you don't want to get monotonous in it. You don't want to forget the reasons why you do the things you do, but in having that schedule, it helps you stay organized for sure. Because that's one thing, like, for me, that I know I get bad at sometimes, is I'll throw stuff around, and then I'll procrastinate, and I won't do it, and then I'm way behind. And if I would have just taken the 30 minutes a day, every day, that I know most successful entrepreneurs do, I would have already had all that stuff done, and we would stay on schedule and all that. So that's why it's so funny lining up interviews, and people are like, man, I got this hour every day. We can do it this hour. That's about it. I'm booked up every other time. So,
yeah, we had that with coming on here, on your show here. So
yeah, exactly.
I told you something yesterday, and then my son had an ortho appointment that my wife reminded me of. I'm like, oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So even, scheduling, I've never been one that's been like super awesome with, but when you have kids, it's funny how those routines that you set into place, it's so important, especially, and like kids can teach you that, they're all about routine.
Yeah.
So if you can have certain regimens and routines in place, that makes everything a lot smoother, especially when you got a hectic schedule and always somewhere to be.
AKA bedtimes. That's
right.
That's what we've got friends with newborns in it. Well, but they're like 1 now, but yeah, it's like you can tell when they do not get when it's 30 minutes past their bedtime. I mean, you can tell it starts to show for sure. And I'm sure Brian can kind of teach everybody on that. He can kind of let everybody know on that with his new baby and everything.
I've got she's going on 1.5 years now.
Oh yeah. Okay. So you're still in it then.
Yeah. I've got a 9-year-old, 7-year-old, and then I guess 1.5-year-old. But all about routine. Like last night she was pointing to her, upstairs to her bedroom because she knew it was time to go to bed. But I'm telling you, like same time every night. And you get that in place. And they, as a kid, you have a natural time clock anyways. which gets like all screwed up when you get later in life and you do like snow removal and all that,
No, I can't.
Long, but
I'm so glad I don't have to do snow. I see y'all stories at like 3:00 in the morning, and I'm like, there's no way.
It used to be for me, like it was the rush of it for me back when I was younger, and now like I don't do as much of it as I used to because of family and because of all that, and wintertime, man, for me, like I love for it to be slower, but it's so funny because even this winter, I've got a whole list of, things I've got to get done during the wintertime, my winter projects.
Yeah.
And it's funny how winter ends up being busier than any other time of the year because you're trying to get everything done before the busy season starts up again.
Yep. Repairing and preparing and everything else that goes along with it.
Yep.
Well, that's cool. So I want to hear a little bit more about your entrepreneurship journey and kind of what got you into growing, like what got you into starting your business, and why have you stuck with it for the amount of time that you have?
Yeah, I mean, when I first got started, going way back out of high school, I didn't know what the heck I wanted to do.
Yeah.
I always figured that I wanted to start my own business. I just didn't know what it was. And so I got hooked up with a guy that had his own lawn care company. And I started working with him actually in the wintertime doing snow removal because they needed extra help. And I got into that, and coming from retail, I was like, man, this is cool, something different. And then he had me come back in the spring for lawn care and mowing grass. I was on the mowing crew, and that's kind of how I got started into it. Along the way growing up, I always enjoyed lawn care and landscaping and really messing around out in the yard, digging holes, so my dad could screw up the lawnmower when he's, mowing the grass. I grew up on a farm, and we had about 3 acres that we actually mowed or maintained. So always outside. I had a grandpa. One of them, was a carpenter. The other one was a full-time, career-long artist. So I have that background going into it. So as I got started with these companies, I worked for him for a couple of years, and then I went to school for it as well because I figured that's what I had a passion for and kind of fell into that. So I went to school of Vincennes University for horticulture and landscape design because all of my buddies were going to school. That was what you had to do. It was go to school to be accredited as a young, person get into the real world. So, and that's a whole other topic, but it boosted my confidence a little bit. And, I started working for a few other companies before I finally said, basically long story short, as Naylor likes to say, I figured I could do this on my own, and I always wanted to have my own business of some sort. So that's how I got started. And like I said, that was over 11 years ago now. And man, it's been a journey ever since because schooling, at least where I went, like you learn about the trade and plants and design and all of that, but they don't teach you anything about running a freaking business.
Yeah.
So,
and you don't learn it in high school. Into it. I mean, it's crazy.
And 11 years ago, we didn't have YouTube and awesome podcasts like this. We didn't have all that. It was harder to attain the information. So you kind of had to learn as you go. And I was looking at the outside perspective of other businesses and what they were doing and equipment they were using, and kind of saw how they were running their businesses from the outside. Too afraid to go pick their brains, internally and see what's going on. And so that's what I did. I was like, oh, they've got X mark mowers. Looks like they're 60 inches ETRs. They've got all brand new equipment. So that's what I'm going to do. And man, before you know it, like a year, maybe 2 years in, I was overloaded with, put my phone on silent here. I was overloaded with overhead. Wow. I had all the bright, shiny toys and had a lot of work. Was making good money and was spending good money too. So that's how I started. About 5 years in, I got my act together after a few real close calls, basically almost losing my business, and restructured everything. Started to learn my numbers, started to learn what I needed to be charging. And what's funny is like 6-7 years in, now we're only a couple of years ago now, is when I finally got out of all that debt and finally got into making good money. I had at that time about 10 guys working with me. So we were doing good. Everything was really well. But like we were talking about earlier, scheduling and all that stuff was still it was a priority, just I wasn't a pro at it yet. So that's kind of my journey, like in a nutshell. And then up until this year, and actually now this year going into next year, in the last 6 months of this year, I've been solo, just myself.
Wow.
And
So
what's
you
funny
scaled
now
up
is,
and back down.
yeah. And what's funny now is, even when I was scaled up there, I'm making more money bottom line now than I was then.
Yep.
And, a lot of people, that have some business sense will say, well, yeah, you don't have the expenditures, you're not paying for the payroll, the workman's comp, all the trucks, trailers, you're not buying new equipment, to keep growing. And that's true. But at the same time, I've got all that equipment, now I'm spending money on actually mechanizing and getting things like the cart mate, things like that, where it's taking the place of 2 employees, so I've got a different approach to it now. I'm a firm believer in having quality equipment that is not going to let you down.
Yeah.
And your customer sees that as well. It's some perception there too. But at the same time, like, I know what I'm doing now.
Yeah. Yeah. You got some
taken me
years
a long
under
time to
your
get
belt.
there, but
yeah. But I think that's the goal of social media now, is to not make it take you 10 or 6 or 7 years. That's what it's not going to take you 6 or 7 years to get to a point where you realize, oh man, I should be doing this. Because if it takes you a year to figure that out, which I would say is probably pretty reasonable. If it took you a year to figure most of the basic stuff out, then you're saving 5 years of heartache, loss of money. Stress in your business, a lot of mistakes that are going to be made in that time.
I would say the most important lesson I learned over the years for anybody starting out was to be vulnerable. Open up. Don't be afraid to ask questions.
Really?
Even to local guys in your area that may be your competitors. Most 9 times out of 10 people are willing to share information.
Yeah.
That's something.
They're not going to give it to you if you don't ask, though. That's the thing.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And I wasn't asking anybody.
Yeah.
And then I started watching YouTube and all that and really seeing, oh, look, all these other guys are going through the same struggles I did or will, and that's what's awesome about today with social media and everything. And that's why I have the YouTube channel and the podcast and all that, is because, it's simply stated, and a lot of other guys say it as well, but I think it's pretty mutual thing, is that we're just giving back, to a community that helped us out.
Yeah.
Now we may be in the position where we can help other people coming up, like Paul says, my ceiling is your floor ceiling, that whole saying.
Yeah.
I think I pretty much just butchered that.
No, that's right.
But you know what I mean?
No, the principle is the ceiling that we're at now, or not me, but Paul and all the other guys that have been in it for 15 years, that their ceiling, like what they're going to peak out at, should be where you're starting, because all of the knowledge they're giving out, all the advice they're putting out there, all of the wisdom and the guests they bring on their shows and the videos they put out, that's all stuff that should be feeding into you at the very beginning, and you should be taking that and saying, this is where we're going to start at. Like, good for them, it's taking them 15 years to get there, but it's going to take me 6 months or a year to get there, and we're going to start down here, and then in 10 years or 15 years where they're at now, we're going to be leaps and bounds above them. And so that's what they're being so generous to give it out. And that's, like you're saying, it's a community where we give back. So the reason we do the show is I'm still figuring out. That's kind of like the slogan that I have with my show is, I'm the guy that's still out there doing it with you, with all the young guys out there, the guys that are starting out. Like, I'm only 20 I just turned 22. I've used saying 21, but I just turned 22 last week. I've only been in business for 3.5 years now, so it's like I'm still figuring out those basic how to charge right prices, how to implement mechanical equipment into your business. Well, that was actually something that we did last week. Is we had to move some dirt, clear some not clear land, but move some old pebbles and just some bad dirt and some tree stump grindings that were in the ground that were in an old existing bed, and we made it. We had to bring in new dirt and lay some sod to redo that and join it with the yard. And we've done that stuff before. That's not a problem, but we've always done it with a shovel and a wheelbarrow. And it made for 8-hour days, 10-hour days. Woke up the next day and didn't feel like you could move. It would just exhaust you. And this job, I was like, I don't want to do that. Like, I don't want to do that with this job because there's a lot of rock in there. So I'm not shoveling all this. I don't want to do that. We had multiple yards of topsoil to bring in. So I said, I'm gonna go rent a piece of equipment. Well, and I priced it in the job correctly. I added it in there, plus added a fee. And I was like, and for me, I'm still figuring it out. I'm like, man, these quotes are kind of big. Like, are the customers going to say yes to this? And it's scary to put that quote in there, but it's like, I did it, and they didn't bat an eye at it. Like, it was not even a question.
Yeah.
They just said, they thought it was normal. And so I put that in there, and then went out there, and a job that would have taken us, seriously probably would have taken us 8 to 10 hours to do, took us 5, and we didn't touch a shovel. We rented a little four-wheel drive front end bucket loaded tractor with a backhoe on it from Home Depot, and it never touched a shovel. Like, loaded all, scooped it all in the bucket, went and dumped it in the woods, took all the topsoil off the trailer with the tractor. Like, never touched the shovel one time, other than to put the dirt that we couldn't get on the trailer, we had to shovel it into the bucket. But that was it. And we weren't wheelbarrowing sod across the yard from the trailer. We were just loading it from the trailer into the tractor and then driving it across the yard. And it was a beautiful thing.
You were wondering, why have I not been doing this?
Exactly. And it literally made me, me and my guy left the job, and I was like, I'll never not rent a piece of equipment again, on the job like this.
Yeah. And then, like, when you're starting out, that shovel or whatever, whatever you got. And if you have more time, right? But it doesn't get any easier as you get older. Your body's not going to get any more nimble than it is now.
The shovel will do the job, but it plays into exactly what we're saying with the ceiling is the whole floor. That whole quote of, there's no reason I could not have rented that tractor 6 months ago when I did a job that was multiple pallets of sod, or a year and a half ago when I did sod job, and had to move dirt. There was no reason. Nothing changed. Nothing changed in my business. I didn't make any more. I made more money. My prices got adjusted, but I could have factored it in then. There was nothing different. But through the knowledge that Caleb Allman puts out there about getting buggies on your job, and all the other guys of getting mechanical pieces in your business, through that knowledge, I finally implemented it. And it's not something that I did for 10 years. I didn't shovel and wheelbarrow for 10 years. I did it for 2.5 years, 3 years. And so now I can take that and say, look, everyone out there's listening, do it now. Implement it now. Don't wait 6 more months. Don't wait 8 more months. Don't kill yourself. Because also at the end of the day, my employee was 10 times happier with me. He left a lot happier because he wasn't dying of shoveling yards of dirt and moving sod and everything else and wheelbarrowing, and it was a great day for him as well. I mean, we literally left the job and we were like, man, I'm not even tired. I didn't even break a sweat hardly.
And that's what I was going to say about the morale too for your employees. Yeah.
And you can probably hit on that more than I can, because I've never scaled to multiple. I mean, I've had 4 employees max. I've never gotten up to a 10 employee, anything like that. So you might even can hit on that a little better of how important that morale is and the steps you need to take to do that.
Oh yeah, it's extremely important. I mean, I've had guys shoveling out of wheelbarrows, mulch in the spring, all that for years. But just this year, when I did have a couple guys in the spring, even with that cart mate on the front of our mower, man, you got to go out there and get a job done, say spring mulch installations, right? We do a lot of that. I do 300 or 400 yards every spring.
Wow.
And, of mulch, not anyways.
Yeah, that's insane. But, that's still a lot of mulch, though. We don't do that.
It is.
We do pine straw down here. We don't do that much mulch. So I love hearing how much
we call it black gold up here because you got the dyed mulches, and me personally here, I hate mulch. I think it's stupid.
Really?
But we make a lot of money, so it's a love-hate relationship. You spread it for 11 years.
Yeah, it gets old.
A couple of 100 to 400 yards per. Yeah, every spring. Yeah, you'll grow to hate it too.
Yeah,
but running wheelbarrows out of the back of a dump trailer, that's fatigue on your body. You got to get it done. The guys, they show up, they know that's what they signed up for.
Yeah.
But when you implement something as simple as just the cart mate, and I'm not trying to plug, and Nick's a great dude, but not a paid advertisement or anything, but just love the product because it literally took the place of 2 other guys. It was like having with 2 guys out there, it was like having 4 guys. And what that does for the morale of the whole of the team is insane. You feel like you're invincible.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it, in words, but well worth the investment. And then a skid steer, like you said, or even renting that and putting that on your estimate, it's like they don't even bat an eye. They feel like that's the professional way to get it done.
Yeah.
That's what you're supposed to do. I don't know where I was going with that, but you know what I mean? Like it's funny how that works when you start implementing equipment, especially these days when you would have had 5 guys, now you've got 2.
Yeah.
You know, it is expected. And it's kind of a shame when we realize that, and we've been doing it, you know, not wrong, but differently.
No, but it's
that mindset that you have to remember is to not have like, it's called like the poverty mindset, but not cutting yourself off from thinking, oh, you know, I can't afford that.
Yeah.
You know, it's, you know, they won't be willing to pay that much.
Yeah.
Well, you don't know, you don't know if you don't try it.
Yeah.
And if you have, how can we afford that? You know, how can we implement that piece of equipment? You know, you're not necessarily paying for it. The customer is.
Yeah.
But
that's the key is you have to make the customer pay for it. You can't eat those costs. You have to charge accordingly.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly. Every time that machine is out on a job, you have to charge accordingly. Like that. Yeah. Job costs you. It costs you money to be out there, so it costs the customer money.
Yeah. When you're renting that skid steer, don't look at the rental expense. That doesn't matter. That's just going straight over to the invoice.
Yeah.
You know, plus some, your delivery fees, picking it up, the time that takes you to go get that and return it, whatever it may be. Or if you have enough jobs lined up where you're going to be using that equipment every month on a regular basis, you're buying it. You know, don't look at the expenses there necessarily as, oh my gosh, you know, I can't afford that. Well, look what you can do with that piece of equipment. When I got my skid steer, I found all kinds of uses for it, man, that I didn't even know I needed it for.
Yeah.
And then now you've got it sitting here, you know, like today I'm going to go load salt and move around pallets of salt, you know, that I would have done by hand a couple of years ago. And it's like, where has this thing been?
Yeah.
You know, why did I not do this sooner?
Yeah.
And it's about keeping an open mind. Like when you get started, like I did, I jumped into things way too quickly when I had no idea how to charge. Like I was basing a lot of my stuff on rates and things and ways companies were charging that now are out of business, you know, because they weren't charging enough.
Isn't that scary?
And same with like employees. Like I used to charge, I think it was like $135 or $125, I guess, years ago, for 4 guys.
Wow.
And now I'm $135 for 1 guy.
Yeah.
You know, it depends on the job too. That fluctuates. But I'm like, man, you know, yes, inflation and all that. Sure. Costs have gone up.
Yeah.
For sure.
There was definitely the numbers were off.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Big time.
And like top line, I'm like, look at all this money we're making. We're making good money.
Yeah.
And then bottom line, at the end of the year, you're like, how do I tell this to my wife?
Yeah, exactly. Or your banker where you want to go get that new loan for a shop or anything like that.
Yeah,
it's like,
exactly.
It's like
Or
Corey
mortgage.
Ballard says all the time. Like, we got the money. What do you talk? Like, I made it all.
Right.
I don't see it. I mean, I don't.
Bank sees right through that, man. They know.
Exactly. And maybe you did make the money. Like, you're not lying. You made the money.
Right.
But when you cheat your way through and you're not charging enough and it's not coming home, then it's like, man, sorry.
And on top of that, you reach a point where, like, when you get into this, you know, if it's lawn care, landscaping, whatever, when you first get into it, your fuel is lit by just the actual activity of doing it. Like, you love getting out there and cutting grass, you know. But then a few years in or a few months in, hopefully, you know, maybe it's a little sooner, you start to lose that luster of actually mowing grass, and you're actually doing this well to maybe make a buck.
Yeah.
And when you start realizing, like, you're basically out there doing this stuff for free, you get burned out pretty easily.
Yep. Well, so tell me, what are you saying you're doing full property maintenance now?
Yeah.
Is that like turf treatment, all that stuff as well?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. Like full service irrigation, irrigation full service. We just did our blowouts, a month or so ago.
Yeah.
Fertilization, turf treatments, mulching,
Aerations,
spring cleanups, aerations if they required or wanted, or whatever. Mulching, spring cleanups, midsummer cleanups, fall cleanups.
So are you still doing landscape jobs like plantings and all that if people want them?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I do curb appeal. Like, I've got one I'm doing next week, and I think it's like 70 some odd plants in the front of this, front and sides of this lady's house.
Yeah.
And we ripped all that stuff out shoot, it's been a month ago now. And the weather's been kind of funny. You know, it's been cold, it's been wet. And so we're just now getting around to the plants, but I've got that flexibility.
Yeah.
And we can get into that later. That's the benefits of being solo again, is like the scheduling is a little easier. But yeah, I do installs. The way I do it with where we're at is like you can plant. I always say to customers, you can plant up until Christmas. And honestly, if the weather's right, you know, Indiana the past couple of years has been goofy with our winters. But like right now, next week, we're going to be in the 60s again, you know, and as long as the ground's not frozen, these plants are dormant. It's not going to look super great like it will in the spring when everything blooms back out.
Yeah.
But the best time to plant is in the fall, you know, so
that's exactly
a lot of my plant installations, if they're cool with it, they may contact me in May. And if they're cool with it and like they want to go with me, I'll be like, look, it's going to be August, you know, September, October when we can fit you in here. And that's kind of between, you know, lawn care starts to slow down a little bit. And before our fall cleanups start to kick in, I plug some installations in there. And then, you know, now we've got all our fall cleanups done. And now I've got a couple more installations to do before Christmas. That's my goal. And then I'll be done for a couple months. And then late February into March, we do our spring cleanups and mulch.
Yeah.
And that'll run till mowing starts up, you know, mid-April or 1st of May. And then we're into lawn care. So then that's cutting into things. But I do lawn care about 3 days out of the week. And that leaves the other 2 for maintenance. I used to do more hardscaping than I do now. I'm not as into that anymore, specifically because I'm a 1-man, 2-man operation.
Yeah.
And those type of jobs, you really do need, you know, 4 or 5 guys out there to really make them fluid, you know. So I don't do that as much. Yeah. But I like this winter, you know, January, February, I'm going to be working on my own, you know, project here at the house. I've got like 11 pallets of pavers out there ready to go in and that kind of stuff. So I still do it, you know, and then you can do that in the wintertime as well. But yeah, I mean, here's like what we started off with in the podcast. Like it's like a curse and a blessing at the same time, as I love variety. You know, I love the fact that, you know, in the wintertime, we break it up a little bit with some snow removal. I do a lot of salting, things like that too. Like that's where the full service comes into play. Is I've got a couple of commercial contracts where we literally full service property maintenance, you know, snow removal too. One guy, you know, but yeah, I love variety.
Yeah.
And it is a blessing and a curse because I guess you could say it's a little bit of ADD, whatever you want to call it, you know, but I love breaking it up a little bit because I get bored easily, man, you know, and I guess that's a good thing about being an entrepreneur is you always have different challenges that arise that you're faced with that you can overtake, you know?
For sure. And there's always a way to go make an extra dollar. I mean, you can always figure out another way to make another source of income. So with that 70 install or that 70 plant install, I'm interested, are you going to do that alone?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Me, myself, a skid steer and an auger. Yeah.
Okay. So
I've actually got a handheld auger. A lot of that's boxwoods. And like I could show you the plans, but I've got these boxwoods that are going to kind of border all these plants.
Yeah.
And so a lot of that is boxwoods and most of them are smaller.
Yeah.
10-inch pots. And I've got a 10-inch auger bit where I can just zip those out real quick. So it sounds like a lot, but no, I should be able to do it.
Do you have an auger attachment for your skid steer?
I do not yet. Okay. I've been looking. They are hard to find right now.
Really?
I don't want to buy a new one because they're like stupid money.
Yeah.
You know, but you can find a used one, you know, with the bit, you know.
That's the first thing. Like that's after renting the equipment for the job the other day. That's what I've already decided I'll never do another install over 20, 25 plants without a little dingo with an attachment on it.
If I don't have the attachment, I just rent it. Yeah. You know, I think it's like $50 for the day to rent an auger.
That's nothing.
Yeah, I just go rent it, man. Like a Harley rake, I did a job because those are like $6,000, you know. Yeah. And I don't use it all the time, so it's not feasible for me to throw down $6,000 for something I'm going to use twice a year. Yeah. You know, but I did a job earlier this spring where we, you know, did the finish grading on the backyard, and man, that Harley rake, those things are something else. Like for a skid steer, like main attachments you want to have in your arsenal, you got to have the scoop, obviously, forks. Something I don't have yet is one of those 4-way buckets, you know, And a Harley rake is an amazing attachment, and an auger for sure. If you don't have an auger, if you got an excavator or something too, like a Mini X, like that'd be awesome. I've considered like a tractor with a loader bucket and a backhoe on the back of it.
Yeah.
In place of my skid steer. Honestly, it'd probably do the same thing.
Man, I tell you, if you get the right size, I mean, that's what I was on. So people ask, like I had multiple people ask me, why did I rent the tractor over a little dingo? Dude, the tractor was way better because it was that dingo. I would have marked up the yard so bad, turning, because I had to turn a lot, and there was a lot of back and forth across the yard, up and down over the curbs. Like that tractor, I left hardly no marks in the yard. I mean, I laid the grass over, but that was about it. And I could blow it back up with a blower, and you would never know I was there. And I mean, it's 4-wheel drive. It didn't get stuck anywhere. I mean, I had the thing loaded down, the buck. So I'm almost in agreement with you there. If you get a big enough tractor, and you don't need a massive one, but if you get a big enough tractor with a backhoe attachment on it, I would be in total agreement that it might take the place of his skid steer. And I don't know that much about it. I mean, it's definitely going to have. They're both going to have their perks.
They're awesome. I rented them in the past and went with that instead of a dingo. Or any sort of machine like that, smaller skid steer, mainly because we were going further from the truck. They're faster, transport speed. We weren't going to tear up the grass as much because we were going further from the truck. Because wherever you track in a dingo or a skid steer, track load or whatever, you better be prepared to either lay down your walk boards and fight those suckers the entire job, or just bite the bullet and know that you're going to have that whole entire pathway. You're going to have to regrade and reseed when you're done. And you work it into the job, if it's big enough. But some jobs where you're going out there to plant 3 trees, man, a little tractor where you're not going to track it up, or like I don't know much about them, but these Advent or whatever, the articulating 4-wheel drive loaders. They've got little small ones now that they're kind of competing with smaller end skid steers or whatever, like even something like that. But like a Kubota tractor, I rent them from the rental yard, and they call them like micro excavators or something like that. That's what they're labeled as. But I will tell you that those Kubotas, the smaller ones, the front wheels they're cast and they're not that strong. Don't ask me how I know. I might have busted a couple wheels off some rentals, but hey, we had that insurance. So whatever. Because we had too much in the bucket, man. I was overloading the crap out of that sucker.
And you can definitely do that. So
they are a little bit more fragile than the skid steer.
For sure.
Depending on what you get, I guess.
For sure.
Maybe not if you get a John Deere. I don't know.
I'm a Deere guy. I love them. That's what mowers rerun. So
me too. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Everything I've got is John Deere now. I always ran Exmark Gravely, and then I've got a dealer. We moved about 6 years ago, about 20 minutes north of like my service area, kind of more countryside, but we got a big John Deere ag operation just a couple miles from my house. And so it just made sense. And my skid steer's John Deere, and I had to go in there and get some parts for it, and kind of developed a relationship there. And then this year we just bought a new Z-Track, and then 648R stand-on quick track. Z-Track 60, 950 M.
950. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I have a 930.
Okay, yeah, and it's got the Tweels on there, which
man.
I wasn't sure if I'd love them or not.
You'll never go back
without them.
Yep, you'll never go back.
And I've got the Z-Glides on the front.
Oh man, I want those. Yeah.
Man, a lot of guys ask me like, "Do you rut thing? Does that dig in at all?" I'm like, "No, dude. I don't know what the mower mows like without it because I bought them with it on there." But those with the Tweels, with the air ride seat, I mean, it's like riding on a cloud. Yeah. Well worth it. Sure.
So I tell you, what's your opinion on the stand-on? Because I just bought one as well. I bought one about 2 months ago.
Okay, so I got just the regular tires on that. It's not good.
Mine as well.
Regular tires on that, which I was talked out of the Tweels because he said that those don't have the same effect on it as they do on the larger ones with the cushion, more grip, which I don't disagree with my sales guy on a lot of things, but I do disagree with him on that. I wish I would have gotten the Tweels. I did get the Z-Glide on the front of those, or that mower as well. And I mainly got that one because I knew I was getting the Cartmate to put on the front of it, and we welded the 2-inch receiver on the front and all that. That's why I honestly still have that mower. But for hanging hills, it sucks. The grip of it, like it's way even when you're used to it, it's way touchy, as far as
It's
the
very
grip.
touchy.
They just sit and spin, I'm not a big fan of it. I would have gone with a right or something if I had a dealer closer to me.
Yeah, that's my part. Man, we're in the same boat.
Or
I have
Skag,
nothing.
Yeah. But honestly, it does the job. But
yeah, I'm not very impressed. The thing that I think so. My two biggest downfalls in it is that it only has a 25 horse on it. It only has a 25 horse motor. Mine does, at least. And if you've got a 48, that's what. Yeah, yours have the same thing. So it's slow. It's slow compared to most other stand-ons, and you have to raise the whole the deck.
With the engine on it.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
that is,
and like half the time you go to pull it up and it won't click into place.
It won't. It's hard to click, and then and my goodness, the other thing is, this is bad. We're like talking bad about Deere's mowers here, but I mean they're never gonna be a sponsor on this show. I don't think. Maybe one day. I don't know. We'll edit this episode out.
I've talked to them. They're pretty hardcore in the PR department.
Yeah, I know. That's what I've heard. But then the blade, and maybe all stand-ons are this way, but the changing the blades on that thing is terrible. I did that for the first time the other day. It's terrible. Like you cannot. Yeah. Can you do that by yourself? Hold the. I mean, that's hard though.
Oh yeah. Okay. So you
have to hold that nut. You have to hold that nut.
Gear in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the one in the middle is like right under the muffler. So if the mower's on, you're getting your hands, and at least on mine, mine's
different because you got to have it up, and I go at it from underneath.
Yeah,
is that what you mean?
Yeah, you go at it from underneath, but then on mine, there's nuts. There's a nut on top, and you have to screw it into that nut, and then it releases. Like it's a big mess. I don't know.
Yeah, no, mine must be different than yours because it's just a bolt on the bottom. You don't have to hold anything on top.
Oh, no, yeah.
What size is yours?
It's a 50, 52.
50? Really?
Yeah.
I wonder what's different.
I don't know. I would like. I don't know. I need to see a picture of yours now because maybe I'm doing it wrong, but I don't think so. I mean, that was the only way for it to come out.
Yeah. I mean, the funny thing is when I got mine is whoever assembled it from the crate didn't finish what they were doing.
Really?
And the wheels were loose. And I ended up wallering out, the wheels because I didn't check this stuff.
Yeah.
Got it from the dealer, went out and mowed with it.
You shouldn't have to.
Right. And so, but he was real cool with me. It was like a Friday evening. And I texted him. I was like, look, dude, I know you're not, at the office. That's fine. But Monday morning, I'm going to need some new wheels because whoever put this thing together didn't finish their job, whatever. And, screwed up both sets. Let's see, the set of back wheels.
Yeah.
But he was super cool. Actually, Saturday morning, he was like, hey, man, if you want me to bring some new wheels out to you, whatever, we'll make it right. So,
yeah. And I will say that about John Deere. They have good customer service. They take care of you when they come to
and the thing with me is that being a bigger operation is they always have what you need in stock.
Yeah.
And that was huge.
And if they don't, they get it in a day or two.
Because I like to wrench on my own stuff. I don't want to take it to them. It's just something I enjoy doing.
Yeah.
But when I need a part or something, I want to be able to get it right then and not be down for 3 days, whatever.
But you say you like to do your own stuff, but by getting Deere, and I'm sure other people maybe have something like this. You bought new mowers, you have that warranty. You have that 2-year warranty, and it's the never stop guarantee. Where if you go in and it takes them more than 24 hours to fix it, you're getting a demo, and you're not going to be down. And that is one of the sole reasons that I've stuck with Deere, and the reason that I have continued to buy new pieces of equipment because that warranty alone has saved me so much time personally from when stuff's gone down. And it's been down for a week or so, and I would have just been sitting there with my hands up in the air, like, well, what am I going to do?
Yeah, I've heard some horror stories this year.
Yeah,
with things being backed up or whatever it may be.
Yeah, and now it was tough this year. They couldn't. It was hard for them to kind of guarantee that because they had so little inventory. They never kept demos on the lots. They were going through them so fast. But pre-COVID, I had it happen multiple times, and they had multiple demos out there on the lot, so you could always go get one and get right back to work. So love Deere. We're not knocking on Deere. Like you said, you love it going in. I love it going in. Quick Track, they got a lot of work to do though. They got a lot of work to do to catch up to the leaders out there, aka Wright.
Yeah, and everybody says, oh, it's just rebranded Wright or whatever.
Yeah.
But when you start looking into some of the details, it is a little different. There's quite a few differences.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It works. I'm keeping it. not a huge fan.
Yeah. That's probably what, I don't know. I might keep mine through the spring. The one thing I do love is always my neighborhood yards. Being able to just pop on and off that thing, like not have to get up and down and put the brake on every time you get off. Like it's just it did that, but I think that's just a stand on in general. So I could change that. So I don't know, but I like it. We'll probably stick with it for a little bit longer. But we don't have too much longer. I don't want to take too much of your time this morning. One thing I do want to talk about is the social media side of things, man. What are you doing in that world? I know you hit on it a little bit earlier, but you have your own podcast. You said you have YouTube and stuff, so kind of hit on that a little bit and tell us what all you're doing there.
Yeah, so I've been on YouTube for a couple of years, and I don't have any sort of routine or schedule with it. I just throw up stuff every now and then. That's Get It Done with Gunn on YouTube, and really the idea behind that was, like I said earlier, just giving back to the community that helped me out. I was watching a lot of guys that aren't on there anymore. Back when I was just going through some of the same struggles and they were sharing it, so that's what I like to do. And then the Lawn Care Community Podcast, once again, the same idea behind it, but we like to, like the last few conversations I've had over there is I really dive deep with some folks and, get into some of the nitty gritty that they aren't necessarily willing to share on their own because it would be considered gloating or whatever.
Yeah.
So I just like to, more Joe Rogan style, I guess, per se, and just have deep conversations, not necessarily about lawn care, but just, with all the lawn bros out there. So it's fun. It keeps it entertaining. I'm on Instagram too, Get It Done with Gunn, and then Lawn Care Community Podcast on Instagram. But honestly, all the social stuff is just hobby, good way to stay connected with everybody, which I believe is extremely important when, this industry, if you're in it for yourself, it can be a little lonely at times, and pretty solitary. And honestly, I'm an introvert myself, but it's important to stay connected. Man, I've met some really great guys and gals over the years and really developed some great relationships just by, posting my stuff, and just a lot of great people out there that can back you when maybe things go wrong, or you can do the same for them. It's an awesome community, and whatever I can do to embrace that, I've made it a mission of mine to do so, so it's really cool.
For sure. I do have I have a couple more questions, and we'll wrap the show up. You said artist earlier. I see was it your granddad a music artist? I see you get, do you shred a little bit? I see you got five guitars in the background there.
Yeah. I haven't even talked about that. That's a lifelong, side hustle of mine.
Really?
Music. And no, he was an artist, as in painting and carving.
Okay. So he's a traditional artist.
So nobody in my family ever really was into music, but it's something I got into, when I was 9 or 10. And I was in a couple of jazz bands in school, things like that, and then rock bands. And dude, you wouldn't believe it, but I used to be in a screamo band, man.
Really?
Christian screamo band. We wore the tight jeans, the eyeliner and everything. You can't even believe it now, can you? So, so that's been something I've done my whole life. I play in a couple praise and worship bands. At my current church we're at now, I'm getting intermixed with them again down at Hazeldale Christian Church in Carmel. I used to play with them. And it's something I've dabbled in. It keeps me sane. My kids are getting into music now too, so it's fun. I grew up kind of jamming with my dad. He kind of puttered around on the drums and stuff. So it's just always been a little something to get your mind off things, man. It's
Can
just
you drum too?
Nothing else like it. Yeah, so I play guitar, mainly play bass guitar in any band I'm ever in. That's kind of my go-to. But electric guitar, acoustic guitar, keys. And drums as well. Yeah.
Wow.
And you can't see those are off camera here, but yeah. And where I'm at now, this is my little studio that is ever changing and has currently more music and things like that to do recording and stuff in here. So it's fun.
I love it. That's super cool. I just saw him hanging on the wall back there and I was like, man, this dude gets it when he's not doing podcasts or cutting grass.
Yeah. It's fun, man. Yeah. Yeah. And that's another benefit of, late is when I had, a larger company, it consumed my entire time and mental health, as well. And now that I'm where I'm at now, it's it's still a focus, but less time consuming. And, I'm making more in the time that is spent with it. So it frees up some time to do other things that I have a passion for as well. And kids as well. So, So that's one of the benefits of where I'm at now is I can kind of pick up the guitar again and work my chops a little bit more. Whereas for 5 or 6 years there, I had to set it down because there was simply no time or place to do it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, man, I have one final question for you, and this is one we'd ask all of our guests on the show when we wrap up the episodes. And I always like hearing the different answers because everybody's got something different. And maybe some people say it's the same answer, but it's a different meaning. Somebody it might come out the same way somebody else has said it, but to you it's a different meaning. What is your why? Why do you run a full-time property maintenance company? Why do you salt at 3 a.m. in the morning? Why do you do the podcast? Like, what is your why behind your entrepreneurship journey?
Well, like when you look at it, why do I salt at 3 a.m. in the morning? That's basically providing service to others, and being reliable there. But why I'm in business in general and really that has changed over the years. When I first started off, it was like, oh, yeah. When I first started off, it's like, oh, I want to be in business for myself. I want the freedom. I want to be my own boss, all these cliche things, and I want to make money, right? Like I want to be, I don't want to have to worry about money in my life. Right. And then into the years, it was, I want to grow a big company. That was my why. I want to be like this other guy out here that I admire. And now I would say my why is basically so I can have the freedom. And it's basically one word, freedom. Now as I can go out there and get things done and put in the work, but I can also have the freedom of my schedule. Like yesterday morning, I had to take my son to the orthodontist, and I couldn't have done that if I worked a 9-to-5 job somewhere else, with a pretty firm schedule. So the freedom is my why now. I enjoy that. I enjoy making money, but freedom for family and things like behind me here, the guitars and stuff like that. And really being able to get my mind off of things. It consumed me for quite a while, my business, it consumed me. It was running me. I wasn't running it.
Yeah.
And now that I'm kind of back on track, I enjoy the freedom and flexibility of being able to do whatever the heck I want, whenever the heck I want to.
Yeah.
And even if that's going to do a 20-yard mulch job, I can do that technically whenever I want.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, yes, keep a schedule. Yes, keep a routine. Yes, be professional with your customers. Yes, get things done as quickly as possible so you can provide the best service possible in the best quality manner, of course. But at the end of the day, it's your call.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I enjoy about it. That's my why.
I love it. I love hearing everybody's answers, and freedom's never free. That's everybody hears that, and it took you a long time to get to this point. It took a lot of hours put in,
absolutely,
a lot of hard work to get here. But now you have the freedom to, like you're saying, with all that stuff you just explained, you have the freedom to do all that. And so if you're out there, you're starting out, just keep grinding, man. It's going to pay off, guy, girl out there. My downfall is I always say guys, and that's so trying to get better about not saying guys. And I mean everybody in that. That's just what comes out. So whether you're a guy or a girl out there, just if you're out there and you're trying to get started or, I don't know, you're feeling the pressure, just put your head down, work through it, and kind of take in the social media, the aspect of things. It can really help you and benefit you and lift you up too. Like you're saying, it's lonely out there sometimes. So by having this community, it can really, really help you and get your spirits up. So, well, Mike, thank you so much for coming on the show today, man. I appreciate your time more than you know. We did this early morning here. I hope you have a good day out there moving salt. And I know that you got a busy schedule, so I want to respect your time and let you get on to what you need to be doing.
Absolutely, man. I enjoyed it. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Well, man, thanks for listening, everybody. And Mike plugged his socials in there a little earlier in the episode. So if you didn't catch those, go back, 10 or so minutes, and you can hear all that. Go find him on Instagram, YouTube, podcasts, all that stuff. And it'll just, I know Mike brings a lot of good content out, and I've listened to his podcast before, and just good times with just hanging out, talking shop, and bringing a lot of good value to all you out there listening. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for tuning into the show. And if you would, leave those ratings and reviews. Those help us boost out to a bigger audience, helps the algorithm push us, and just really keep growing. I want to grow organically. That's what I said from the beginning, one relationship at a time, and that's what I'm that's why we're doing the show, just to get out there and kind of help more people, give back what little bit that we've learned. Just if there's anything I can give back, give one little piece of advice and it helps somebody, then the show's worth it. So thank you all for tuning in. Again, hope you have a great day whenever you're listening. If it's the weekend, like I always say, have time with your family, go to church, make the best use of your time. If it's during the week, get out there, go crush it, go mow a yard, go lay some pavers, whatever it is, spread some mulch, and just excel in everything you do. Keep your head up, and just know that there's a whole community out there backing you. If you ever need anything, reach out. I'm here. You can reach out to us on Instagram. We'll put all that in the show notes, and just look forward to catching up with y'all here on the next episode.
Thanks for tuning in to the Growing Green Landscapes podcast. We know you have many other podcast options to choose from, and don't take it for granted that you chose to spend some time with us today. You can connect with Jeremiah Jennings at Growing Green Landscapes on Instagram or use the link in the show description. Don't forget to smash the follow button on the podcast and leave those 5-star ratings and reviews. We hope you crush it in your business and hope to catch you on our next episode.